It's a lovely midweek in the city of Lagos, and we bid you welcome to your favorite ICT program on radio, Digital Space, here on Top Radio 90.9 FM. Joining me in the studio this afternoon, as usual, is Dikachim.
Hello everyone, my name is Dikachim, and you're welcome to another educating, entertaining, and exciting episode of Digital Space.
And fixing your PC is BJ.
Hello guys.
Promises to be fun as usual. Apart from calls and text messaging, loads of other fun and important things we do on our phones, tablets, and computers require the internet. However, the cost of internet data across platforms often leaves a gaping hole in the pocket of internet users. On Digital Space this week, we're taking a look at how to maximize your internet data, while we cross our fingers and hope to see the cost of internet data go down in our country, because right now we pay a lot more than most countries of the world. We will be sharing with you things that you can do to reduce that data that you use, the cost of the data that you use on the internet. We'll also be looking at why we have price disparities between the GSM data plans and the LTE data plans. Do we really get what we pay for? How can we measure what we use online? Or do we just blindly accept whatever is thrown at us as data used? Do we avoid data guzzlers and bandwidth augers? We'll be giving you some software that you can use to measure the data that you have used online. This and many more right after the break. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Some years ago, Apple was just a fruit. Tweeting was something only birds did, and phones got really smart. As the owner of the phone, are you smarter? These are signs that our world has gone digital. Imagine this: if Facebook were to be a country, it would be more than 5 times bigger than Nigeria, with over 1 billion registered users. There are over 31 billion searches on Google every month, over 100 million active mobile telephone lines in Nigeria alone, online sales in Nigeria between 2011 and 2012 reaching $3 billion. There are too many incredible statistics to show that the next big thing for us as a generation is not the oil wells of the Niger Delta, but the vast potentials and resources the digital space offers. Digital Space is a production of Cherry Brooks Media.
Digital Space, making ICT knowledge popular. Alright, welcome back. Today on the show, we're taking a look at how you can maximize your data plans, that is, your internet data plans. We also want to find out, do we really get what we pay for, BJ, when we pay for internet data?
Well, I would say you do get what you paid for, but the question is, what am I getting charged for?
All right.
How does my bandwidth or my data allowance,
if I understand what we do around here, you pay for
basically everything.
I mean, once the socket is open and you're communicating,
your data is running.
Everything is going.
Right. That's right.
Are we not supposed to be paying for that?
I don't think we should be. At some point, it will get to where we don't pay. The problem I see here is there's not enough true competition.
True.
We hear competition, but it's not true competition, because a person who's offering you this comes out and say, this is what I'm offering you. The next person offers exactly the same thing, nothing better. Mm-hmm. So it's just, the better of two evils.
Okay, so but why then do we have disparity between the GSM data plans and the CDMA data plans, Dekachim?
It boils down to a lot of things. First of all, you think things like overhead costs, because the GSM providers have much bigger operations, from the offices to the staff to the masts that have to be maintained.
They have a crowd. Isn't that why it should be cheaper?
Well, yeah, they do have a crowd, but you have to also realize that not everybody uses data on their plans. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, there are more people that don't use data than people who use data on their phones.
Do you really think so? Outside of making calls and text messages, what else do you do with your phone? Well, everything depends on data.
I'll tell you this. This is why the carriers give you free data.
Absolutely.
To pull you in.
But we don't have
They don't have enough people buying data. That's the thing. That's why they end up giving you some, get a taste of it, and then come and buy.
You get hooked up to it.
For instance, there's no absolute data on these things, but if you look at some data that has been released They said there are about 46 million Nigerian mobile subscribers, but there are only 12 million on Facebook. So the space will tell you that not a lot of people use data. So I think and things like WhatsApp crashed down the text messaging business. It was very lucrative for them. Now it's pretty much cheap. So I think they try to compensate for it by higher data plans.
And also, if just to draw back on that number you just gave, the 12 million, most people on WhatsApp get that 100 naira WhatsApp without getting data plans, because you can get that from these providers.
It's all right,
and they're fine with that.
All right, so we go on to what you need to do to ensure you maximize your data. Number one here is you have to check for data leakage on your modem. Modems are hackable. Wi-Fi modems are hackable. I'm sure you will talk about that, BJ.
Ooh, I don't want to get into hacking.
You have to get into
I don't want to get into hacking.
Right,
basically, most of these providers, when they give you a modem, they proprietize it to their own subscribed customers and their SIM. You can go in there and put a certain code in there, or hack it in a way or another, and get other SIMs to work within that same modem.
Oh my!
I mean, it's possible out there. I've done quite a bit of them. I mean, it's it's not.
We got you. We got you. It's all right then. But one of the things you need to do is to make sure that your data is not leaking through your modem. I would recommend you always change your Wi-Fi password as soon as you can, and don't share your password with anyone on request. A lot of people walk into your office and say, "Oh, you have a Wi-Fi here, or you have an hotspot here. Can I have access? Can I?" And then you go ahead and give them your password. And then some of the time, the guy is in the vicinity. He wouldn't need to ask you anymore for your password. He just logs in and he's having free day on your data.
And of course, he can share it. It's not just about being in the vicinity. If he goes downstairs, this guy say, "Oh, my data plan is finished." Say, "Oh, okay. These people, I know their Wi-Fi password. See it, put it." And it can spread from there, and
you can't tell how many more people will be able to have access to it. So please guard your Wi-Fi password.
Just to buttress on that, if you think because you entered that code in that computer for them and they didn't see it, there's actually a way to go back and see what you entered
to your computer.
Absolutely.
Yes,
so you just want to keep that protected. The key to your router.
I think the key to it is you should keep changing your Wi-Fi password as often as you can. If you're in a busy environment, I would recommend you do that at least twice a week. Minimum, all right. And then, but if you feel you some people are pilfering data from your modem, I think you can do it on a daily basis. All right. One of the things you should avoid is high definition video downloads. We are all on YouTube these days, and most of the time these videos are inscribed HD, and we just say, "Oh, that will be crispy, let me go get it." What you're getting is actually heavy data on your modem, and you don't want to keep doing that because you keep reducing the data cap that you already have.
I've heard a lot of people come to me asking me, "How come I just bought a 1,000 naira data plan
on my computer
and the thing has just wiped out?" This Etisalat people, this guy people, they are just this and that. I said, look, it's not them. Sometimes your computer, when you're installing applications, you allow them to automatically update.
Absolutely.
Once they smell a port open, it's gone.
Which brings us to background data via automatic updates. Many applications are set during installation to allow the application to use data automatically to sync your device by uploading or downloading images, videos, and other files. To manage your data usage, you must be able to disallow automatic sync through each of these applications setting.
Absolutely.
You have to do that because just like you said, once you put it on and they notice that there's an internet access on your computer, they all just go rushing for it.
Yeah. While we're still on the video download thing, before we leave it, I've had some people say things like, "Oh, but I was just watching the video, I didn't actually download it." As soon as you open it, it's downloading. It's not a question of whether you actually download it and have a soft copy in your computer, or you just watch it. Streaming is downloading.
It even makes more sense to download, because while you're streaming, if something happens, you want to go back and watch what you have to start that download over again. So if you do download, you can watch it as many times as you can.
Yeah. But what you also don't know is that when you're streaming, it's actually downloading a temporary place, temporary folder. And all it's doing is download to your system and present it to you.
Exactly.
So it makes a lot more sense for you to just download the video and watch it later than to stream it online, especially when you're trying to cut down on your data usage. It's very important you do that. Also, we want to advise that you avoid downloads with torrents. I mean, this is
illegal in many countries, actually.
But
not in Nigeria.
Not in Nigeria. I mean, a lot of people will go out of business if that becomes illegal.
Torrents are sometimes they are quite heavy, and there are many bad things about torrents. If you ask me, sometimes they can have virus and all that. But this is not the show for that. But I think people should also avoid torrents because of the heavy data usage.
On torrents, what people do not realize is by the way it is designed, you give access to as many people as possible
while
you're getting that file.
Yeah, that's the way torrent works. That's why it can be illegal in certain places, because technically you're getting something that is paid for from someone. So it's not the torrent you're downloading is not on any particular computer in the world. It's on different computers.
So many computers.
Yeah, it's shared out. So when you're downloading, say, a movie, you're keeping a part of that movie on you. Someone is getting it from you too, the way you're getting it from someone else. So everybody is in league, sort of.
And so if you have
as you're giving out, you're spending your data. As you're downloading, you're spending.
I'm sure you've seen things like leeches, seeding, and all of that. When they say a leech, it means how many people are really taking from you at that point in time. And when you are seeding, you are giving it out to as many people that are available or asking for it. So if you finish, or when you finish downloading with a torrent, you want to stop seeding. Otherwise, if you have, I mean, before you know it, your bandwidth is gone. I mean, exactly. And the most unfortunate thing really is that when you are using torrent, you discover that you give out a whole lot of your data more than the one you use in downloading.
Yeah, of course. That's how it works.
So right then, we'll take another break, and when we come back, we continue. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Some years ago, Apple was just a fruit. Tweeting was something only birds did, and phones got really smart. As the owner of the phone, are you smarter? These are signs that our world has gone digital. Imagine this: if Facebook were to be a country, it would be more than 5 times bigger than Nigeria, with over 1 billion registered users. There are over 31 billion searches on Google every month, over 100 million active mobile telephone lines in Nigeria alone. Online sales in Nigeria between 2011 and 2012 reaching $3 billion. There are too many incredible statistics to show that the next big thing for us as a generation is not the oil wells of the Niger Delta, but the vast potentials and resources the digital space offers. Digital Space is a production of Cherry Brooks Media.
Digital Space, making ICT knowledge popular. All right, welcome back. The last on our list right here is independently monitor your data consumption. There are software that enables you to monitor your data consumption. We would like to suggest that you install and use this software to monitor your internet data consumption. You may wish to try software such as Onavo Count. Onavo Count, that is spelled O-N-A-V-O space C-O-U-N-T. Please do not spell the word space. I'm asking you to give space. There's a space between Onavo and Count. This app allows configuration, or it allows you to configure alerts and trigger when the app detects data hogging apps, or when the usage is over and above a limit that you have set. A live data usage session lists the apps currently transferring data and their usage over the most recent interval. The company also produces a separate app called Extend. It utilizes data compression technology during network transfer to reduce data usage. You might want to check that out. Also, you can use data usage. Data usage is also a software you can use to monitor how you are consuming data.
Sorry, these apps you're talking on, what platform can one get them?
Well, most of them are on the tablet, on Android, or the iOS. Okay. All right, but you can also try My Data Manager. I think you have a desktop version of that as well.
what if I went to my app store or my Android Play Store and typed something like data monitor apps? Would I have good options?
Absolutely, but these three are the ones that we have tried and we have seen them to be very quite effective, especially on nav account. So right then, we'll take another break, and when we come back, we continue. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Some years ago, Apple was just a fruit. Tweeting was something only birds did, and phones got really smart. As the owner of the phone, are you smarter? These are signs that our world has gone digital. Imagine this: if Facebook were to be a country, it would be more than 5 times bigger than Nigeria, with over 1 billion registered users. There are over 31 billion searches on Google every month, over 100 million active mobile telephone lines in Nigeria alone. Online sales in Nigeria between 2011 and 2012 reaching $3 billion. There are too many incredible statistics to show that the next big thing for us as a generation is not the oil wells of the Niger Delta, but the vast potentials and resources the digital space offers. Digital Space is a production of Cherry Brooks Media.
Digital Space, making ICT knowledge popular.
Welcome back. I'm here to give you 2 tips on what to do to increase your productivity at work. You know that employee productivity took a major hit the day Facebook was invented, and social networking, card videos, or maybe just the internet in general is cutting into your work. So there are several tools you can use to stay focused at work. The first one I'm going to give you is Rescue Time. This software, it runs in the background and keeps track of how you spend your time. You can set all kinds of goals. Say you want to spend less time on email, or even set an alarm if you spend more than a certain amount of time on Twitter, for example. And if you need more drastic measures, you can block websites if you pay for the premium version versus the light version, which is free. And since Rescue Time collects all this info, you get reports on where and how you spend your time, plus a productivity score. You can even go in and classify websites on a scale of very distracting to very productive. So if you're a social media manager, for example, Rescue Time won't dock you points for messing around on Twitter when it's actually your job. And it runs on Windows and Mac. The second one I'm going to give is called Cold Turkey. Yeah, I know, sounds cheeky. The first thing you should know about Cold Turkey is that it runs only on Windows. So unlike Rescue Time that runs on Mac and Windows, this one is just Windows. If you're a Windows person, it's pretty easy. You can use Cold Turkey to block distracting websites or apps for lengths of time. They tout the fact that it's not easily disabled in case you feel like cheating and getting on Facebook anyway. Another element to Cold Turkey is that it's donation based. You can download it for free or pick what you pay, and then decide how much of that money goes to the Against Malaria Foundation. So basically, Cold Turkey supports the Against Malaria Foundation. So if you pay any amount, it's kind of a donation for the foundation. One word of warning though is, when we tried to install Cold Turkey on Windows 8, the install was a lot more problematic. Even with Cold Turkey enabled, we got into our block size just fine. When we tried it on older Windows 7, it worked perfectly. You know, it's kind of a problem with a lot of apps, and a lot of applications on the Windows 8 platform don't really work well as against on the Windows 7 and all that older PCs. So these two are just 2 things that will help you keep up your productivity at work, you know, so you don't go spending all your time on social media, not doing enough work, you know, saying, oh, I've been at work since 9 till 6 or whatever, and at the end of the day you didn't achieve much. So remember, Cold Turkey, it works only on Windows, and Rescue Time works Windows and Mac as well. So these 2 apps are very good, and I believe they will help increase your productivity. So yeah, David, before we go, a lot of people get this twisted, I don't know, between bandwidth and data usage or data cap. All these words, they're kind of confusing. So I'd like you to clear up the air as regards this.
Yeah, a lot of people interchange or interuse the word data, internet data, and bandwidth a lot. Think of data and bandwidth in this sense. You have an overhead tank in your house, you know, with water, you know, reserved there, and you need to pass this water down to the taps in the house. Now think of that reservoir, that tank up there, the overhead tank, as your data. All right, the bandwidth is the pipe that takes that water from that that tank into your house.
Like, you mean the size of the pipe, like the width?
Exactly. So the size of that pipe that takes it from the tank determines how well the water will flow at the taps. All right. So the bandwidth is that pipe that takes it from the tank, and then the tank itself, the water in the tank, is the data. So, but a lot of people would still, interchangeably use the word bandwidth for data. They're not exactly the same. The bandwidth only measure, the amount of data that can pass through at some point to you. So around here we get to see 2 Mbps, 2 megabyte per second. That is what we have here as a most prevalent one. But some of them will advertise they have 10 Mbps. Someone was talking to me recently and he said my bandwidth is 34 gig. I said that is not possible. You have a data cap of 34 gig, but your bandwidth is in all probability 2 Mbps.
Okay, so if I get your analogy right, you're basically saying if there's a tank upstairs,
yes,
the reservoir itself, the water it contains is the data. The size of the reservoir is the data cap or data allowance.
Absolutely.
And then the bandwidth is the pipe bringing it.
The size of that pipe bringing the water from that tank.
The size of the pipe.
Yeah. So that's your bandwidth.
Okay, so if I have, what's the difference between a 2 Mbps bandwidth and a 1 Mbps bandwidth?
Simply the size that amount of data can flow through. If you want to download, for instance, you are downloading the water from your tank to your tap, the bigger the pipe, that is your bandwidth, will determine how fast the water will flow down.
So you're saying now, if I have a 2 Mbps
pipe.
no, not pipe. Now, if I have 2 Mbps bandwidth,
yes,
it means 2 megabytes per second.
Yes.
If someone has 1 Mbps,
that's
he will download in half the time. I'll download in half the time he downloads.
Absolutely. However, you think of torrents. Torrents enables you to download faster no matter the size of your pipe. Now, think of this pipe that we talked about now. If you puncture that pipe at several locations, the water will come out faster.
Yeah.
Is that also so?
True,
because you've punctured the pipe as the water is flowing at more locations. So that is exactly what torrent does. What torrent does is that it gives access at so many locations to people to take from you or you take from them, and so it will take away your data faster, and then it will make download also faster. So that's torrent, and that is why you shouldn't be using it often, because it will zap your data quicker.
Okay.
All right then.
That's a beautiful analogy.
Fix My PC. What do you have for us this week?
Okay, we're working on screens today. All right, you turn your computer on, your screen is black or flickers or does some funny thing, and the computer itself is running fine. But now, first thing you have to do is get yourself an external monitor.
Excuse me.
Yes.
This particular error that is very, very common with screens.
Which one is that?
You see this light coming from either the top or the bottom of the screen, but you cannot see particularly what the screen is showing you. All right. So the screen itself is kind of black, but there is an illumination around the edges.
Well, when you see disparity in illumination like that, where some parts are lighted, especially the edges, your screen itself has gone out. The bulb has gone out. It does not have enough illumination to brighten up the whole screen. Everything that's normally going on when there's lighting is still going on, but you can't see them because the power, the kind of lighting that is needed to brighten it up is not available. Hence, it could be something called an inverter inside of your screen. It normally is on the bottom of the screen, and it's the one responsible for lighting up the whole screen. If the inverter burns out, you will have to change that.
That will be for the LCDs.
Yes.
Okay.
For the LCDs. For the crystal display, also they have their own type of inverters. All right. In some cases, they use LED to light up LCD, the newer versions of these computers that we have today. But if all else fails, just find someone who is competent in fixing these things and get them to take a look at it for you. But just what you can do, pick up an external monitor, hook it up to your computer, cut it off, and power it back on. It should automatically see that you don't have a good screen on your laptop and transfer your images to the external monitor. Once that is done, you know where your problem is. But if the external monitor does not pick up video, then you might have a problem with your video chip.
So it might not be the monitor.
It might not be the monitor.
It's on the board that you have the issues. It's all right. Then thank you so much for that. And then we hope you've picked one thing on how to fix your PC. See you again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
For more information, reach us on Twitter at DigiSpace Radio, on Facebook, facebook.com/DigiSpace Radio. You may email us, contact@digitalspaceradio.com. Give us a call, 0813-682-9595, 0813-682-9595. Check out our website, www.digitalspaceradio.com, for past episodes, tips, tricks, and more.